Top financiers from 12 countries surrounding the Pacific Rim are in Singapore, struggling to meet a US-set deadline to hammer out a free trade mega deal. The plan is aggressively lobbied by Washington, which believe other economic partnership groups in the area don't do enough to promote America's interests in the region. The zone should make products cheaper by cutting the cost of foreign supply chains and getting rid of cross-border tariffs. But if signed as it is now, the treaty would reportedly allow corporations to challenge a wide range of national laws. Similar powers endorsed in America's previous trade deals allowed US energy giant ExxonMobil to seek changes in Canada's oil drilling regulations. Another concern is for the pharmaceutical industry in countries which can currently only afford cheaper copies of branded drugs. Corporate conglomerates could ban the use of unpatented medicine, leaving the poor without access to vital treatment. Gaina Chichikan has the details for us.
The Trans-Pacific Partnership Treaty, if and when agreed upon, would establish a free trade zone stretching from Vietnam to Chile, encompassing 800 million people, producing about 40% of global GDP. Negotiations are happening behind closed doors in secrecy. The treaty will be designed to remove all so-called barriers to trade, including regulations such as those protecting agriculture, food safety, and data privacy. I'm joined by Lori Wallach, Public Citizens Global Trade Watch. Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure.
Why the secrecy? As I understand, there are 600 corporate advisors having access to these negotiations, but for some reason not the public. Why?
Well, unfortunately, we've actually heard directly from the U.S. trade representative. He notes that the last time the U.S. public actually got to see one of these agreements, they couldn't sign it. Now, if it's an agreement that's so bad that they can't sign it if we see it, and we're the ones who are going to live with it, they shouldn't sign it.
As I understand, the treaty will establish a secret court where corporations can bring their cases against governments when they don't get their way. Where does this leave the public? What is the danger for the public?
Basically, two big things. Laws that we rely on would be attacked in foreign tribunals in secret and undone. If you want any of those basic rights that democracy normally would ensure that you can pass your laws, then this is a direct threat. For instance, under NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement, it's 3 countries, and largely, unfortunately, the U.S. has been the one whose companies are suing everyone else.
Thanks to WikiLeaks, we also know that under the TPP, it's planned to extend copyright protection and endorse harsher penalties to internet providers. They may face court cases if any pirated content ever appears on their networks. This could all end with restrictions to internet access. And Mayra Sutton, who works for a foundation which aims to defend internet freedom, explains to us why she's against the potential trade deal there.
TPP remains to be secret because really, if it was shown in the sunlight and people were able to know what was in it, then it really wouldn't pass. What's so alarming is that several groups in Washington, D.C. have been talking about the copyright provisions that we've seen from a leak from February 2011, and we've been warning about its provisions and how it would impact people's freedom of speech and privacy rights online. And the U.S. continues to be pushing for those provisions, despite the fact that we've been, talking to negotiators and trying to communicate with our government about our concern. The big problem with copyright is that technologies change, and a lot of these companies are just refusing to sort of adapt to the existing reality of, the internet, how we all just want to interact and share and contribute to the content that's out there.